New information now in our ongoing investigation into the heroin epidemic sweeping our nation. And opioid addiction isn't confined to big cities. Many rural areas are also seeing a spike in overdose deaths. Rick Leventhal joins us live from our New York City newsroom with an update for us now. Rick?
Well, Jenna, if you haven't lost a loved one to the heroin opioid epidemic, you probably know someone who has. And in Pennsylvania, like much of America, the problem is getting worse.
You're not going to be forgotten. Not if I could help it.
It's been 8 years since Carol Coolbaugh lost her son Eric to a heroin overdose. She mourns, but still says he's better off.
Because it was torture watching him. Torture.
Eric's story of addiction and death has become almost routine. Drug overdose is now the leading cause of accidental deaths in America. Over 50,000 a year, far more than are killed in car crashes. And opioids are the heart of it, with at least 15,000 annual fatalities related to prescription pain pills and more than 12,000 killed by heroin and fentanyl.
If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. I'm in the system. I see it every day in court, and I had no idea that my son was using heroin.
Bruce Brandler is the chief federal law enforcement officer for half the state of Pennsylvania, but even he couldn't protect his 16-year-old son Eric, who died from an OD in 2007.
It's not an overstatement when they call it an epidemic. It's not an overstatement when they say it's a public health crisis.
Shocking, surprising.
William Listman is the coroner of Luzerne County, covering Wilkes-Barre and other towns in central Pennsylvania. He remembers seeing one overdose death a month back in the 70s. Now, there were 9 suspected ODs in the first 19 days of this year.
This has absolutely become routine that we say put the body in the morgue and we'll get to the blood work on Monday morning.
Carol Coolbaugh spends time with her daughter Jennifer, a recovering addict herself, and shares something her son wrote just before he died.
His last thing is, at first it was fun, later it was a full-time job. And what? It consumed his life. That's all he thought about.
Federal prosecutors, including Bruce Brandler, have a strategy to fight the opioid epidemic, a combination of prevention, enforcement, and treatment. But even he admits this will not be over soon. Jenna.
We'll continue to make sure it's a priority. Rick, thank you.